Hello there, YouTube. Today we will be replacing master cylinder, lines, and the slave cylinder in here. To do this, you are going to need a lot of stuff. Drop cloth, gasket, all the necessary crush washers for the seals. Preferably manual. Manuals are good. Manuals are your friend. First things first, protect the floor. Brake fluid's very bad. It's corrosive. It will eat paint. Clean it off of anything that is painted quickly. And also, what's it? Polypropylene glycol, diethylene glycol, glycol ethers, very bad for animals, kill them real fast. Renal failure, so clean the ever-living crap out of everything. So for the sake of routing the brake lines, I think the first thing I'm going to do is take the tank off, the cosmetic tank in this case, and the seat, which is that guy right there. Okay, cosmetic thing has been removed, tank has been removed. I removed the scoopy thing here, which consists of a bolt on top and then one that goes there. This clutch hose routing is a bit of a bee, so I think what we'll be doing is loosening this box so that we can access behind there. Cool. Note there's this thing behind this fuse. Sorry, not a fuse, a relay. And one more right there. Alright, so there's a tiny little clip there. You can see it's being illuminated. I'll undo that so I can move the line around. And there it is, out of the clamp. I used a screwdriver and kind of pulled around from the front here. Well, got my hand in there and pulled it out. Just be patient. There's a lot of wiring looms in this area. And for my own edification, routing is this way, down here, under there, yep, then all the way to that guy, then down and through to the slave cylinder in here. Okay, next steps will be up here. We're gonna loosen the cap so that I can get some vacuum on the bleed nipple down there and empty the system. Okay, the next actual step is cover stuff with plastic so you can see if it drips and to protect everything. I'm going to crack this. The bike's in the center stand. It's going to leak some. We need shop rags for that. And then once I get it below where it's dripping, I will start vacuuming it from the bottom. Well, I just finished bleeding it. There was a crap load of air the entire time, which is not great, but we will proceed. Next thing, pretty easy. Just going to remove this lever, this guy, and then get this guy off. Okay, now you want to disconnect the clutch sensors, or the wires here. There's a total of 2. I put a green Sharpie on the outer one. You probably don't need to, but I would. Okay, these are disconnected. Looks like they have little leads there. The next thing after disconnecting these guys is these. You want to remove basically the master cylinder from the bar. Prior to that, I'm going to crack this bolt and plug it in case there's anything there. Other thing I would recommend is just put like a Sharpie dot where the seam is, where it meets, so that you can correctly replace the master cylinder in the same location. As you can see on the banjo bolt here, there are 2 copper washers. This was 12 millimeters, by the way, if you can't see that. And those are used for sealing it, keeping it tight. You can tell that we definitely need to clean this banjo bolt quite thoroughly before reinstallation. I might steal that dust boot too. Alright, cool. We're now going to remove the master cylinder. Thusly, what is this? Jeez, that's annoying. I don't know, looks like 5 mil. So, yeah, take those 2 out and you're good. And again, mark your stuff. Alright, good stuff. Now take your lovely new master cylinder and the old bracket right there in the middle of those things and install. Minor detail, reinstall the clutch switch on the bottom here, right there, of the new master cylinder. Okay, this is the old cylinder. I'll show you kind of how this goes. White lithium grease, yeah. You have this plunger here that has grease on it. The idea is there's this little thing that if you buy one, it should come new. That sits in here. You grease it up for sure. And then you line it up with that window, which I didn't quite do. Like that. And that's what connects onto that plunger that causes the actuation. And then this, you also grease very heavily after cleaning it. And that goes through there, gets bolted on the other side. I don't know the specs off the top of my head, but that's the gist. Okay, everybody? Cool. I'm gonna go install that. Remove foot peg here. Mark this. There's a bolt here that you loosen to pull it off. Then you have to remove this snap ring and slide it all off. Hello everybody, good morning. Today we needed snap ring pliers to get this thing off so we can resume. So see you soon. Snap ring and washer removed. Loosen that up a little. Okay, now these guys. Crisscross pattern. Don't use air. Have a cutout. You will lose oil on this one. Alright, cool. Came off fairly clean. A little bit of oil loss. Gonna have to remove that gasket, do surface prep for sure. So be aware of that. Also keep an eye on these dowels, make sure they don't fall out. Next is detached brake line. That's the slave cylinder. Bolt down low and up top. Both need to be removed, and then you need to work out how to get it through the bottom. That's the sleeve out. Now clean that heavily. It comes out once you drop it through here. You push up on these wires, but there are little wires in there, like that little green one. You have to be careful. Clean. Now transfer this to the new one and grease the cup. New slave cylinder installed and torqued appropriately. Now I'm going to replace the line. The new line's flexible, and I think I have to take off the pipe here. That's kind of going to be a choose your own adventure thing, because this is solid and routes strangely. So, good luck with that part. We'll brake line out. Pipe is a little bit bent. Should be fine though. And this detaches. New galper line connected, routed up through a hub, out here, electronics reattached. I'm gonna mate it up to this thing. All right, everything back together. System filled with fluid. You can hear it's faint, but you can hear the actuation down there. So the galper line did connect here to the pipe. You'll bend your pipe a little bit. The sleeve was leaking, so I had to go back in and do that again. And yeah, now it's just going to be this alternator cover. For this thing, where we see residual gasket, there wasn't really any on the bike, fortunately. But yeah, this is just going to be a soldering iron, soft tipped. Kind of work at it and then brake clean away the residual. Hello folks, an update on the cleaning of the gasket material. You can see I only really have 2 more areas to go over. So yeah, go back here and it's done. Of course, after it's done, you're gonna clean the ever-living crap out of it with car cleaner or brake cleaner. Get the oil out. In other words, make sure that none of the gasket material is in there, right? We'll get back into your engine. And also that, you know, that entire surface that you're going to be mating together is going to be pretty smooth, okay? Alright, cool. And that's it. All surfaces all clean. We'll be using a little bit of sealant because I did not do all of that gouging. Alright, cool. Okay, it's gasket time. I've soldering ironed the mating surface and cleaned off all the gasket material I can. This is what I'm going to be using. Have everything ready, right? So have your torque wrench set, all your bolts around. In this case, there's a crush washer for the bottom bolt, the gasket. I have the cover over here. Have the cover ready to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is apply a very, very thin, and I mean very thin, layer of gasket sealant around this perimeter here. Not the entire thing, right, but the inner portion, route along the inner portion, and probably outside of the dowels. From there, you place the gasket on the bike, press it down, at which point you apply gasket sealant to the gasket, and then you mate up the surface. One last thing to note, you'll see there's some oil pooling there, okay? The bike is going to rock as I am shaking it right now, and oil will be tempted to wick over that surface. You do not want that to happen. That's where this drop over the last few hours are coming from. Any oil under your gasket is going to make it fail to seal. So I'm going to take paper towels and wick enough oil out of there so that I can be sure that will not be the case. At which point I will wipe both surfaces again with brake cleaner and get down to what I just discussed with you. And then these go in a crisscross pattern, blah, blah, blah. I believe 10 Newton meters is the torque specification. Okay, so hopefully I'll see you guys in a non-leaky future. Well, there it is, all done. About to clean the floor, etc., etc. Wasn't a particularly easy job, wasn't all that bad though either. So yeah, hope this helps someone. Take care.